In a letter to respected COP21 world leaders in Paris, France in 2015, Supreme Master Ching Hai urgently advised them to implement vegan law as the solution to mitigate global warming. The letter reads as follows. Respected COP21 world leaders Paris, my special salute and best wishes to all of your distinguished, honoured ladies and gentlemen who have gathered in Paris for the protection of our world. This is just a reminder that just paying money alone cannot save lives, but being vegan does. A lot of evidence and information about this for you to consider are in the book From Crisis to Peace, free online at crisis2peace.org. Countless lives in the present and future, including yours and your children's future, children of your children's, are in your hands. Save them by voting for and implementing vegan law to stabilize the climate. Otherwise, lives on Earth will perish and we will be committing a graver offense than all the acts of killing and wars combined. With all love in God, yours most sincerely, Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Vegan.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Look at this map. From India to Bangladesh, Thailand, even eastern China, temperatures are shooting above 40 degrees. Records are being broken, and India is among the worst affected. And we are only in the month of April. The worst may be yet to come.
The United Nations Final Warning on Climate Change. Act now before it's too late. Part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Welcome to our show, the United Nations Final Warning on Climate Change. Act now before it's too late. Part 2 of 2. On today's episode, we'll learn more about the concerning findings of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, a Shining World Leadership for Life-Saving Hero Award laureate, as documented in this recently released Climate Change 2023 Synthesis Report. The report concludes that climate change is an extremely urgent issue, stating that the only way to prevent runaway global warming is to make immediate, deep, and dramatic cuts to greenhouse gas or GHG emissions by 2030. However, we're still going in the wrong direction as global GHG emissions continue to rise. According to the World Meteorological Organization's or WMO's 2022 State of the Global Climate Report, the current levels of all three major GHGs are at record highs. WMO Secretary General Petteri Tailas says, "We have broken records in three main greenhouse gas concentrations, CO2, methane, and nitrous oxide. And the annual increase of methane concentration last year was the highest we have recorded since 1980. As a consequence, experts are becoming increasingly concerned about the future."
Despite all the talk at the global level, the actions on climate change are still extremely weak. So I think at the local level, we have to prepare for much more warming.
As GHGs continue to rise, weather-related disasters have occurred more often and with growing intensity. Extreme heat waves are becoming the norm. Already by April 2023, several countries were experiencing unprecedented heat waves. For example, in Cordoba, Spain, the temperature reached 38.7 degrees Celsius, the highest April temperature ever recorded in Europe.
So the temperatures we've been seeing throughout this week have been 10 to 15 degrees higher than average for this time of year. So that's been a real shock for people. The authorities have issued several warnings already in terms of health warnings, wildfire warnings, hospitals are on alert. So there's a lot of information warning people about these temperatures and the precautions to take.
The heat wave raised increased concerns about Spain's water security. In Cordoba, approximately 80,000 people were relying on truck deliveries for water, as a drought had exhausted the nearby reserve and water from another dam was deemed unsafe for consumption. In April 2023, Thailand also experienced extreme heat, with temperatures in Bangkok soaring to 42 degrees Celsius. Factoring in humidity, the temperature felt more like 54 degrees Celsius.
A scorching sun and sweltering temperatures. In Bangkok, people have been struggling to stay cool. It's unusually hot this year. It's hotter than any other year, and it makes my job harder. I feel like I can pass out at any minute as my uniform is thick and the weather is hot, and I have to sweep quite a stretch of road.
In India, April temperatures also reached record highs, and many schools were forced to close due to the unbearable heat. Such intense heat so early in the year raised concerns about the summer ahead.
Look at this map. From India to Bangladesh, Thailand, even eastern China, they're all red. In most of these cases, temperatures are shooting above 40 degrees. Records are being broken, and India is among the worst affected. Over 90% of India is experiencing a severe heat wave. And we are only in the month of April. The worst may be yet to come.
In the Horn of Africa, global warming has created a life-threatening situation. A severe multi-year drought has brought millions of people to the brink of starvation. A recent study by the World Weather Attribution Group concluded that their future may also be bleak because climate change is making drought in this region about 100 times more likely than in the past. Meanwhile, in France, firefighters are bracing for another summer of wildfires. An unusually warm, dry winter raised fears that wildfires in 2023 might be even worse than those in the previous year, when 785,000 hectares of forest were destroyed, more than twice the annual average. As the climate warms, ocean temperatures are also rising. An April 2023 report from the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, revealed that the average surface temperature of the world's oceans had reached an all-time high and was the hottest since satellite record-keeping began. Scientists were deeply concerned to learn about the sudden increase in ocean temperatures, saying that the current trajectory is headed off the charts. In some parts of the ocean, the rise in temperature has been enormous. For example, in March 2023, off the east coast of North America, the temperature of the sea surface was about 13.8 degrees Celsius higher than the 1981 to 2011 average. Warmer ocean temperatures cause many problems, including devastation of marine life, coral bleaching, sea level rise from thermal expansion, and accelerated melting of ice sheets. Warmer waters also create more powerful, longer-lasting tropical storms. A recent example was Cyclone Freddy, which lasted more than a month. Freddy has been declared the longest-lasting, most intense tropical cyclone on record. Viewers, welcome back to our program, The United Nations Final Warning on Climate Change. Act now before it's too late, part 2 of 2. The IPCC report states that global warming is already extremely dangerous and that we must act immediately to avert climate catastrophe. The report made many recommendations on actions to take. However, one of these suggestions is, in fact, the fastest, most efficient way to halt climate change, a global shift to the plant-based lifestyle. Let's see why this is so. Many climate experts state that reducing methane emissions is the key to stopping global warming. The reasons for this fact are as follows. First, methane is a much hotter GHG than CO2. Scientists estimate that over a 20-year period, methane traps 80 times more heat than the equivalent amount of CO2. Second, methane has a much shorter lifespan, as it disappears from the atmosphere in about a decade. In contrast, CO2 remains in the atmosphere for 100 years or more. Thus, reducing methane emissions is a much faster, more effective way to halt global warming. Many scientific studies have concluded that one of the primary sources of methane emissions is raising billions of animal people for so-called food. A United Nations report states that raising animal people livestock is responsible for 14.5% of GHGs, more than the entire transportation sector combined, including cars, trucks, buses, airplanes, etc. The study recommends a shift to the plant-based lifestyle as an effective way to halt global warming.
Meat production, particularly of beef, is a major contributor to global warming. The methane expelled by cattle and other farm animals accounts for around 14% of all human-induced climate emissions. The industry is also a significant factor in deforestation, particularly in Brazil, where vast swathes of Amazonia have been cleared for grazing.
Another scientific study by Dr. Robert Goodland, vegan, and Jeff Anhang concluded that raising animal people livestock actually plays a much more significant role in climate change than other activities. Considering additional factors such as deforestation, the study concluded that raising animal people livestock actually accounts for 51% of global warming. The authors recommend a global shift to the plant-based lifestyle, stating this approach would have far more rapid effects on GHG emissions and their atmospheric concentrations than actions to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy. In 2019, Dr. Sailesh Rao, vegan, a Shining World Award for Earth Protection recipient and founder and executive director of the non-governmental organization, or NGO Climate Healers, conducted a highly detailed scientific study of the animal people livestock industry and its impact on climate change. The study, published in the Journal of Ecological Society, concluded that raising animal people livestock accounts for 87% of global warming. In addition, many other studies show that raising animal people livestock causes widespread deforestation, water pollution, food insecurity, water scarcity, the mass extinction of wildlife, pandemics, environmental destruction, and many other global problems. For decades, our most gracious Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, has reminded us that the only way to quickly halt climate change is through a global shift to the vegan lifestyle. Because the situation is so critical, Master urges a worldwide ban on animal people meat production and consumption.
So just show the laws to people and explain further, like climate change, methane gas is destroying many places in the world and causing a lot of trouble, and meat is the cause of most disease on this planet. All you have to do is just change all these slaughterhouses and abattoirs into vegan farms.
Oh, yes.
Vegetable farms.
Yes, Master. Right.
Organic farms are better. If they don't have animal people meat, then they don't eat animal people meat.
Yes, Master.
Yes, and can ban hunting.
Yes.
That's it. Ban fishing, ban hunting, ban animal people raising. That's it. And change them into vegetable planting products.
Our deepest gratitude goes to Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, for courageously sharing her insights on the fastest, most effective way to stop climate change. May our shared prayers for world vegan, world peace soon come true. For more information on the IPCC Climate Change 2023 Synthesis Report, please visit ipcc.ch/report/6th-assessment-report-cycle/. For further information on Dr. Sailesh Rao and Climate Healers, please visit climatehealers.org/.
All information concerning the scientific evidence of climate change and its solution is in Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, From Crisis to Peace, free for download at crisistopeace.org.
In a letter to respected COP21 world leaders in Paris, France in 2015, Supreme Master Ching Hai urgently advised them to implement vegan law as the solution to mitigate global warming. The letter reads as follows. Respected COP21 world leaders Paris, my special salute and best wishes to all of your distinguished, honoured ladies and gentlemen who have gathered in Paris for the protection of our world. This is just a reminder that just paying money alone cannot save lives, but being vegan does. A lot of evidence and information about this for you to consider are in the book From Crisis to Peace, free online at crisis2peace.org. Countless lives in the present and future, including yours and your children's future, children of your children's, are in your hands. Save them by voting for and implementing vegan law to stabilize the climate. Otherwise, lives on Earth will perish and we will be committing a graver offense than all the acts of killing and wars combined. With all love in God, yours most sincerely, Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Vegan.